Some people consider it art. Other people consider it a nuisance. But this is elaborate, but unfortunately for them, it's illegal. And if they get caught, there's going to be consequences.
Mr. Moore.
Thanks. What I like about the graffiti is because it used to be, I will try to get a hold of the owner and pester him until he does it, and this is a great thing. But really, I wanted to know that alone makes this a huge success. And I know there's no way that you can know what was prevented, what didn't happen. But I was hoping that you could give us some idea, give us a sense of things that have been spotted because of this, or some of the impacts you've seen because of the patrols that have been out.
Well, besides graffiti, we have also, like I say, when you're walking down the street at roughly 3 miles an hour, you'll see a lot more. We've reported several what we believe would be potential building code violations to the building health departments. They've followed up on several of those. We've also, again, we've had issues with kids walking in the area or hanging out in certain areas. Just them walking by, the kids will look, they'll take a second look, and then eventually they'll move on. So the impact is there. It's the visibility. They're walking down with the bright blue shirts with the great big white lettering, and they see Norwood Police Citizens on Patrol, and they don't want to know what they're there for, so they will move on eventually. So it's a proactive, preventative maintenance, if you will, type issue that will hopefully curb any loitering or eventually disorderly conduct or the small issues that could turn into the bigger issues. So those are some of the things that they've also addressed.
Mr. Moore.
Thanks. I don't know if anybody wants to. I'd be interested to hear from one of the people that does the patrols, one of the members of the Citizens on Patrol, because the people that are watching at home that might want to get involved in this, I don't know if they've got a correct image of what happens as you go, as you're out patrolling. You're like, oh, those guys are thugs. We're going to go, stand in front of them and say, we don't want you in our neighborhoods. Or, I just hope if somebody could come up and maybe give a sense of what, what happens. Is this a fun thing? Is it an unpleasant thing? Is it... so we can get some, get people some idea. Because when I see them out walking, they look like they're having an awfully good time. So I want everybody to have a sense of that.
I love the lieutenant's subtle reminder that the speed limit in Norwood, even when it's not posted, is 25 miles per hour. That's not a well-known fact, it appears.
I think Jim kept some reports that I think this is what Lieutenant Williams just passed on to you, but what I've noticed when we're out in some areas in Woodward where there's known drug issues going on there, they've come to recognize us, and they're like little cockroaches. They see us coming down the street and they scatter, and they'll go the one. I remember one evening they were there on the street. The usual 3 guys that we all recognize now hanging out, and they saw us coming around the corner. They do double take, and then they stand there for a minute. They're trying to decide what to do. They scattered as we got about halfway down the block, and then one of the guys was up on the porch, and he yelled some comment, whatever. He made some comment, police, whatever he intended on doing, but. They know us now. They see us coming, and they're running out of the way. They don't want us to call anybody to come and deal with them, because they're not just hanging. They're always hanging out there, and they're not just hanging out because they're great friends and they're talking about what they did at work today. They're hanging out because they're getting in trouble or they're going to be getting in trouble. So that area reminds me when we're out and maybe it's kind of quiet evening and think, wow, not much went on tonight. I think of that time when we were down there, and even though it was nerve-wracking for us, we're like, oh, come on, stay together. All right, let's go do our thing, walk down the street, say hi to them as we go by. That we did make a difference on that particular evening because they got out of the way, and they went in the house and maybe kept them from doing something that we didn't want them to do. But we've had some interesting circumstances. I think we do have a good time. We've met some really nice people. we've met people who said they would come and patrol with us, but we haven't had them join us yet. So that's what we want people to come and help us out, do the training. You know, it really wasn't that hard. And then come and patrol with us. We need more people because it's a small group. We can all only do so much, and we need more people to help us out. And Bill and Viv really could use some help with the graffiti remediation during the day because they can only, you know, they're around everywhere. But they could use some help with that too.
Mr. Thornberry.
Tell us about, for people who might be considering doing it, but it's too much time, it's too much effort. What sort of flexibility does the program offer in terms of encouraging people to get involved?
I mean, really, I think everybody who's patrolling now is patrolling probably at least once a month. We're going out twice a week is when the patrols are scheduled. So if you look at it, can you spend 4 hours a month doing this? You know, every other week, once a week, doing a patrol. You know, if you and your neighbor do it, then you can go out with your neighbors, and we only need 3 people to do a patrol. It's not like we need 8 people when we go out. We need 3 people. The radio, the scribe, and somebody else who's on the patrol to help with our safety. So that's what we're looking for. And if we get more people who show up, we get 6 people, then we'll do 2 patrols. We've done that before. But really, it's not a huge time commitment. Probably the training was the largest time commitment because you did have to go 3 weeks in a row for 4 hours. But once you got past that, you can look at doing it a couple times a month, and I think it would work really well for all of us. We just need more people to be involved with us so we can keep this moving forward. Lieutenant Williams mentioned the show. We're going to get going on a cable access show. Tyler's agreed to tape it for us, edit it for us, so we've got some really good ideas that we're talking about, and we hope to get it on, as you mentioned, in March, and hopefully do one quarterly. That's what we've talked about anyway as a group. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more comments on the topic?
I think just thanks.
Mayor, do you have anything to add?
You know, the thing about this program is, you know, with these, and I think Casey referred to them right, some of these cockroaches, and that's what they are. I mean, you know, but the other thing is, I think that even for these type of individuals, when they see citizens